because I just came out of the hospital 2 days ago with a very bad skin infection, HS, and I'm just listening to YouTube, and I heard about Charlie Clark. Now I don't know who he is. I made a video earlier about this. I don't know who he is. I know he is some type of person that speaks his mind, very, very racially motivated with some conversations, some beliefs, and I still can't believe people are marching behind these people that are racist. I don't understand. What world are we living in that we're following behind racism? This man actually said that black people were better in slavery. Like 200 years ago, during a time that black people were in this country that was used to make money for the South, to pick cotton and use, like, very disrespectfully throughout 200 years, this man said that black people were better off as slaves. And we have people online wearing shirts of this man saying we ride for him. How can you ride for a race? Now we're dealing with racism in America, like very heavy. And people, like, that's why I believe America is such a hypocrite country. Because we talk so much shit about what's going on in our country and how bad our country is, and how we're seeing a lot of white men shooting people now, a lot of young white men that are fantasizing with guns, and on the same day that he was assassinated or murdered or whatever you want to call it, because I don't call it an assassination, which assassination only happens to presidents of the United States and people that are really, really fucking important. How can you say that a man that got assassinated, that's a racist, that attacked black people, and not just black people, attack women, and think it is a good thing to do, and now people will get mad when somebody has their own opinion about somebody? Like I said, I don't know the man, but when you start seeing these little videos of the way he downs black people and women, and just down just the world, period, and our country is falling apart at the seams. You got all these. Now you understand. Now they always thinking that it's just blacks shooting blacks. Now you're seeing that whites are shooting whites. You're seeing these young kids that are 16, 17, 18 to 21 years old taking pictures with guns and semi-automatics, and parents are enjoying it like it's a symbol of greatness that their son is carrying a semi-automatic. Now, if it was a black person that had a semi-automatic, people will say black people are very dangerous. But you have this young people that go into a school at the age of 16 and shoot up a school on the same day this young man got assassinated or shot or whatever you want to call it. And you are seeing people proudly wearing shirts and saying we must help his family and all. I'm like, what happened to all the other people that are being murdered out there? And how are people walking around with guns being proud of saying, yeah, I'm a proud white man with a gun, right? But when you see black people carrying arms, it's such a threat. It's such a threat that a black man carries a gun, but you see these young kids shooting up schools. Like, how can you sit there and say, oh, well, okay, we're just going to just ignore the school shooting, but also bomb threats were to colleges of black colleges. Like, all across the country, there was a bomb threat to a black college. How is that? How do people, why is this country such a hypocrite? First, we hate on um, people that are not from this country or they're immigrants. We are racist towards them. We're hateful towards them. Talking about they're taking our jobs, they're taking our money, they're doing all these things. But you don't really see the criminal action that's really in our country from our own people. 9/11 was yesterday, right? They went crazy showing the Twin Towers being knocked over by planes. They enjoy that. Or they like to show the war of World War II, Vietnam, the Revolutionary War, the Civil War. They like to show all these wars of white men fighting for this country, but not a lick of a black person fighting for this country. Or they'll turn around and make black people look so bad on TV by locking them up and arresting them, talking about we are the only danger in this country, knowing it's the white man that's dangerous in this country. Young white men that have been trapped in the house ever since COVID and never gotten a chance to be around their family and friends and don't know what it's like to be free. Like when I was growing up, because I'm 49 years old, COVID didn't exist. We had all different type of viruses and diseases, but we wasn't stuck in the house. We still conversated with friends. We still went out. We still enjoyed our lives. Not these kids. These kids are stuck in a home. They're watching YouTube, looking at all these different violent videos. They're carrying these. They think of guns is just a fun thing to do when they play Call of Duty or when they play Grand Theft Auto, or they playing all these violent video games. They thinking that, damn, that could be me. I could go out there and do the same exact thing. I don't care if it's far left, far right. I don't care what the fuck it is, Republican, Democrat. I don't give a fuck. A gun is a gun. You're using it towards violence towards people. People are dying. And it's crazy that you're starting to see it being from young white men, but they're blaming immigrants, or they're blaming blacks, or they're blaming other people saying, oh, it's right for us to carry guns and shoot people, but it's not right for everybody else to carry guns. We got to attack the people that are more violent than us, knowing that, like I said, when they came to this country the first time, when they came off them ships, what did they do? They became violent to the Native Americans. They came violent to the black people. They came violent to the slaves. They came violent to anything that they put their hands on. They brought military to this country to defend this country against other ethnic groups like the Mexicans, the Native Americans, the Africans. They sent military over here from other parts of the world to protect this country from them. Like, how is it now you're seeing more white people, young, doing more violence and being more terrorists in their own country, but they're blaming other people? This is the reason why I always believe that Donald Trump blames everybody else for things, because he's trying to keep white people looking like they're so great at everything. And it's sad that you're starting to see it nowadays with these school shootings. These young white kids are going into these schools with semi-automatics, handguns, pistols, glocks, all these different type of guns, and shooting up these schools, killing little kids for the most stupidest shit, because they want to be part of the politic world, knowing these kids don't know nothing about politics. Nothing. It's like it started in 2020. Now everybody want to be a politician. Everybody think they know about politics. No, you don't know anything about politics. Politics is an old tradition going on for a very, very long time, has been changed through the decades. And you have different presidents, different senators, different vice presidents. You have all these different type of people that were in office. And none of these motherfuckers were trying to get people to learn anything about politics. They're trying to keep people away from politics. But now, since we battle for the Donald Trumps, we battle for the Harris, we battle for the Obamas and all these presidents that we're trying to put in office through voting, and it really fucked everybody up. It really fucked up people's minds, because we were trapped in the house trying to learn how to be politicians. We try to be politicians in the home. Like we had to go out there and see who we could pick to be our president, and pick the right president, knowing that we didn't know how to pick a goddamn president. Politics is not for civilians. I keep telling civilians, you're not a politic. You're not. You stay out of politics. Like, this is what getting people killed is, politics now. Like, people are going into fucking Walmart. People are going into malls. People are going into churches. People are going into schools, and they're shooting up schools because they don't like you not liking their president or their politician, or you're a far left or a far right. Why are you killing people for that reason? You got these young kids are probably watching CNN and Fox News, and watching these battles between Democrats and Republicans and liberals and independents. They're fighting on TV. They're having debates on TV. People are getting paid off of these things. People are getting paid to make debates. So they can have these young kids get pumped up and get angry because somebody don't like Donald Trump. Oh, you don't like Donald Trump because you hate on him. Nobody likes Donald Trump because Donald Trump is not a politician. He was nowhere near a politician ever since the night. He ran for office in 2000. Everybody should know that. He lost. He never even made it to the primary. And still, this man made it to be the president of the United States because he paid his way to become president of the United States because he was a very powerful person and he was a very rich person and he had rich people standing behind him. But he wasn't a politician. He wasn't a senator. He wasn't a governor. He wasn't a mayor. He was none of these people. And now you got people are trying to back him up because people don't like him. Oh, you don't like Donald Trump? Well, I'm going to put 2 bullets in you because you don't like him. Why? Why are people dying for these leaders? These leaders don't give a flying damn about us. They're over there worried about what's going on in other countries. Like in Russia and Ukraine and Palestine and Israel, we're worried about what's going on over there. But you see the violence is going on in your own fucking country and nobody fucking cares. These kids are getting shot and killed. Young kids. Leave the kids alone. Why are you mad because somebody don't like your president? So you got to get a semi-automatic and shoot up a school because they don't like your fucking president or you don't like the views of the country. The country been going through bullshit for nearly over 200 years. What changed in this country to make this country what it used to be? It never changed. Really, honestly, this country's falling apart, and it's falling apart with the leaders that we have running this country. And little by little, this country is going to actually dissolve into Rome. And nobody's fucking caring. All we care about is pretending like we care about, the economy or healthcare, childcare. We're making videos about this. Women and men are fighting over abortion and all this other kind of stuff that we haven't fought over for years, but now all of a sudden we're fighting over and people are killing each other over. And now people are mad because food stamps are being taken away, knowing that was already going to fucking happen, regardless of Republican or Democrat. Everything was going to happen because it's supposed to happen. It's part of being part of this country. We have a government country. We don't have a king. We have a government country that's run by the government. The president is the Speaker of the House. That's it. The president is not really, honestly, he doesn't have any power. He only gets power because he's given that power. But really, honestly, the people that run the country is supposed to be the citizens of the country because it's supposed to be we the people. It's not supposed to be we the government or we the president. It's supposed to be we the people. We're supposed to have the Declaration of Independence. We're supposed to have all these different pieces of paper for us, but we don't go out there and do nothing about it. We got these motherfuckers in Chicago now with the military. First we had it in Washington. It's going to be across the country. Maybe, it's going to be to a point that we're going to all get thrown in concentration camps, or we're all going to have the military in each state, knowing that Donald Trump is going to find a loophole to make sure that each state has military in it, and which is the most stupidest thing because we can't protect our country from anybody the fuck else because we're worried about what's going on in our country of saying we're trying to make our country great again by making our country peaceful. Our country always been this way. We always been at violence. We're a violent country. We always been this way. We've been this way through war. We've been this way through communism. We've been through this way through so much bullshit. People really believe that this shit started in 2020 or when Donald Trump got elected. It did not happen like that. This country been falling apart at the seams for a very, very fucking long time. And people haven't woken up yet because the younger generation don't know what the fuck is going on. And my generation is dying, or they're forcing us to die. Because we can't talk to this generation. We can't give no type of knowledge to this generation, like what's going on and what can happen. Because the older generation try to talk to my generation, the baby boomers try to talk to the Generation X. And we tried to listen, but we didn't listen. And we tried to talk to the millennials. The millennials didn't want to listen. And now the millennials is trying to talk to the new Zs, and the Zs don't want to listen. So how are you going to have a country full of people not listening. And all this country is going to do is go to war. And we're almost at that point of war. I don't give a damn about, I don't know who this person Clark is. And like I said before, I heard he was a racist. I heard that he attacked a lot of black people and he attacked a lot of women. And not attacked the women physically, but verbally. And making women look like they're not equal to men. And then you got black people trying to survive in this country. Like we're trying to survive all over the world, and everybody's attacking us because they can't fuck with just who they want to fuck with. First they fuck with the immigrants. Now they want to fuck with us. Now they don't want us in this country. And we're trying to figure out what the fuck is going on because now we're having all these murders and assassinations on government and all this other kind of stuff, and we don't even know what the hell's going on because it all has to do with politics. Why do we have to deal with politics when we don't know shit about politics? And they know that we don't know. The Republicans and the Democrats, no civilians don't know nothing about politics. They know we don't know shit. We could look at all the motherfucking politics that we want. We could go back to the year 2020, but we don't even go past the year 2020. We don't go like 200 years ago when actually was the wigs and the no wigs, and they actually were dealing with actual politics and dealing with things that really mattered to this country when the country was young. Now we're 200 years into this country. Now everybody want to be a president or a prime minister. I mean, not prime minister. Want to be a president or want to be something part of the government and don't know shit. We opening up all these pieces of paper. We're going into law. I see people trying to get in the law, trying to figure out the law, trying to figure out the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and all these pieces of old motherfucking pieces of paper that's nearly 200 fucking years old that's falling the fuck apart. And we're trying to learn all this bullshit. For what? We should have been learning this stuff a long time ago, but we didn't because we didn't have a problem with politics. Now we're having problems with politics, and now we want to go out there and try to be this politician, thinking that we know every fucking thing. We don't know shit. We don't know anything about our own fucking country. We don't know the laws of our own country. We're still fighting with cops because cops don't even know about the law about their own fucking country. What are we doing? Why can't we just wake up in the morning and just say, okay, let's live our lives and die? Why do we have to? What is this violence? What are we doing with violence? You got this young man getting killed, and you got other people that are getting killed. You had Trump almost get killed. We have all these problems in this country, which we didn't deal with this problem until this motherfucker got put in office. Now we're dealing with a lot of issues, and we're not looking at it that we could change this country into a better country like we did before, when this country was very, very powerful with the currency, the gold, and everything else, the oil, the economy, everything was strong. Now everything is broken. And all we're doing is running around trying to look good and try to be better than another country. We try to bring these rich motherfuckers into this country to try to help build this country, knowing that we're not doing a good job of it. We don't have no money. We're broke. This country is becoming broke. Even though we got gold, but still, they don't even want to. They're even trying to think about changing the currency into another currency pretty soon because we don't have no fucking money to survive in this country. No factories want to come over here. Nobody want to do business with this country. Nobody, wants to even talk to us. We're going on with Russia. Russia goes over there to Alaska to come over here, but didn't come to the United States through Washington. Putin had to go to Alaska to come to the United States, even though I know it's a lot closer. But still, like, the president of the United States made that happen. And this is the reason why that these countries today cannot get along with this country, because this country is a country that's really looking really suspect and really going to be taken control by other countries one day, because this country has a government. We wake up every morning thinking that something's going to change. But no, we got this man signing shit. Then we got all these people getting killed. And we got these far leftists, these far rightists, and all this bullshit. It's a bunch of bullshit. That's all I hear. It's from the Republicans. It's from the Democrats. Motherfucker, I told you they're the fucking same fucking party. They're the same party. These are rich aristocrats billionaires and trillionaires that are in the same fucking party paying off these fucking government and presidents to make the country rich. Why don't you understand this country is trying to be rich? So they're gonna make us, the poor people, work harder to make this country even richer. And it's not, and they're doing it in front of our faces. And they know it's the Democrats, and they know it's the Republicans, they know it's the far left, they know it's the far right, they know it's the independents, they know it's the liberals. They know they're all together. They're together. They're not on anybody fucking side. They're pretending like they're on everybody's side, but they're not. They're all rich people. They all got money. They got the Bentleys. They got the Mercedes. They got the nice ass house parked out. They got the big ass houses. They got their kids going to good schools. They're living in the suburbs while we're living in the fucking hood trying to survive, hoping that we don't get it, hoping that we won't get arrested. Looking like somebody that we don't even look like. Oh, we're an immigrant now. All of a sudden, everybody's a fucking immigrant. Everybody's a fucking immigrant in this country. Like he's picking out people to lock the fuck up and throw away the fucking key. And his black people are going to be the next. They're going to be in line that's going to be taken out this country. And not just that, being locked up in concentration camps. It's a damn shame that we're seeing white young men carry guns all over the place now. And now they have this power struggle now that people are going to look at black people and say, well, y'all still the most violent. White people are allowed to do with anything they fuck with. Like I said before, they try to make this country a white country like they did a long time ago. So one day, like, this country's going to be that country that's going to be white again. And we are not, as black people, are not waking the fuck up. We're still fucking asleep. We're still trying to vote a black president in. We want a female president really bad, but we don't want any of this shit because every time we turn around, we fuck up because we got to vote for whoever they vote for. We can't vote for whoever we want to vote for. You know how many times that we sat there and tried to vote for our own president and they won't allow us to? Even if we did have Harris in office, they will tear Harris apart. Even if they have Hillary in office, I believe Hillary Clinton wouldn't even last long in office because they would have tore her apart. There's no way that black people haven't even thought of even packing their bags to get the fuck out this country yet. And I tell black people we need to get the fuck out this country while we got a fucking chance before they throw us in concentration camps and do the Jim Crow again. They could do these things. The white man could do whatever they fucking want because they run this fucking country. There's not that many rich black people. We got less billionaires and less millionaires. There's more white and more immigrant billionaires and millionaires than blacks. Money pays to change laws. We don't have money to change any laws in this country. That's why us black people need to get the fuck out this country before they change laws on us again and have us in slave chains again. And black people really think it's not going to happen. We're all cheesing to the white man like the white man is really actually holding our hands and tell us, oh, everything's going to be all right. No, it's not. The white man don't want us here. They were trying to get rid of us for decades. Ever since slavery was over. They were trying to send us to Madagascar. They don't want us here. Just because they crack a smile on your face and give you a little bit of this or a little bit of that, they're supposed to give you things. Why, once slavery ended, they gave us welfare, they gave us child care, they gave us all this bullshit because they made sure that we won't fucking complain or we won't revolt or we won't protest. That's the reason why they gave us shit. Because we didn't beg for this. We didn't beg for welfare. We didn't beg to become Democrat because we wasn't even Democrat. We were Republican. How did we become Democrat? Because of Roosevelt. Roosevelt is the one that forced us to be Republican, be Democrat. You know what I mean? Then we started getting all these little morsels of delicacies of childcare, healthcare. We go to better schools. We couldn't even go to better schools because we had to be taken from the military. The military had to protect us to go to school every fucking day. We had no type of choices to make in our own lives as black people. They made choices for us. This is the reason why we act the way we do and why the way black people don't get the fuck along with each other. Because they made choices for us. They put us in a position to fail. They gave us the guns. They gave us the drugs. They put it in our neighborhoods. They put the weed. They put everything in our neighborhood. So we know that that's the only thing that we can afford is things that's cheaper because us black people, we're very cheap. So we only can afford the things that there's giving to us for free. We like free shit. You know, I mean, we love free shit. Even though we work hard for our shit, we still love free shit. And any free shit that we could get, we take. So it's healthcare, childcare, welfare, food stamps, and we can get that for free. We want to take that for free. But they want to stop giving us. They want to stop helping us. They want to stop giving us that shit. That's why Trump is taking that shit away from us. That's why I said black people need to get the fuck out this country while we have an opportunity. Because if we don't, we are going to go back to slavery again. And it's not going to just be the South that's going to own slaves. And people, black people, really think, oh no, we're good, we're all right. Oh, well, nothing's going to happen to us. They're going to protect us. That is a fucking bullshit. 200 years we've been on this continent. What have we been doing for the last 200 years? We've been building this continent brick by brick. Slaves and immigrants are the one that's built this country while the rich sat on their ass and just put money out there. You know, but we're the ones that actually built this country. Our ancestors, you know, even the Native Americans, even the Mexicans, when they used to own the South, when they used to own the South and the Midwest, they were the ones that putting in everything to try to build this country until the Europeans came and tried to snatch it from underneath their feet and then build the border wall until they're not allowed in here. They did the same thing to the Native Americans when they told the Native Americans they're not allowed here anymore. So they gave them reservations, gave them a little bit of money to shut them the fuck up. And now you got the Europeans all over the country thinking that they got to change this country back to white again, which this country was never fucking white in the first place. This country was a Christian country, yes. The United States was a Christian country, but it was still a mixed country because you still had the Native Americans here, you had the Mexican here, you had all different ethnic groups all over the world here during the gold rush and during a lot of shit that was going on during that time. Then you also had the Africans here because they were slaves. So how was this country a white country? It was a Christian country until they try to make this country a Christian country again, which this country will never be a Christian country because you're still dominated by other religions. But they're trying to force religion over every fucking body again because they're starting to see all these videos about God and Jesus and shit again because they're trying to force religion on people again, which you got to stop fucking doing. This country is built on religious beliefs because of back of what they had when they first founded this country. But when they started saying, okay, we're going to just let everybody have their own belief system, now they're trying to force religion back on people again, which that's the fucking most stupidest thing you could do because everybody's not a fucking Christian. Everybody's not a fucking Muslim. Everybody's not a fucking Jehovah's. You got people that have all different ethnic groups of different nationalities and different types of religion all over the United States. And that's all I'm seeing these videos about. People fighting if God is real, Jesus is real. People are fighting over Christianity is the most dominant religion and the most grateful religion, and you can't go to heaven or hell unless you're a Christian. I'm like, are you fucking serious? What world are you fucking living in? We're living in a country that's falling apart. Why is religion the number one factor right now? It shouldn't even be an issue because people are dying over the most dumbest shit. We're not dying over religion. We're dying over politics. People are going into churches, shooting up churches, black churches. People are going into schools, shooting up schools for politics. You got these rovers going around saying, I'm mad because nobody liked my president. I'm mad because nobody agrees with the way the country is being run. I don't like that. I got to go in there and shoot a whole bunch of kids. Or I got to go and shoot up a whole bunch of black people in a church because I don't like their belief system because they're Christian. Because I don't like blacks that are Christian. So white people are the only ones that are Christian. I always believe that's true. White people are Christians. Black people are not Christians. We took their religion and made it our own religion, which we should have never fucking had done. This is the reason why the white man and their religion hate the other religions of other people because they believe that we stole their religion. So they're going around, going into churches, shooting up churches, and doing all this most disrespectful bullshit over the most dumbest shit. And we don't even learn from our mistakes, dog. We still do the same motherfucking shit over and over and over again. And then we put it on YouTube or we put it out there on social media so everybody can be scared to live in this country. Now we got a fear factor going on because our president wants us to be afraid of him. And you got people wanting other people to be afraid of religion or whatever people want to be afraid of because now they got to carry these semi-automatics around like they're fucking water guns. I'm sick of it. I'm sick and tired of this country, dog. I'm sick and tired of the way this country has fallen apart ever since 2014. The country was actually doing a lot better in the early 2000s. Really, really doing great. And next thing you know, everything started falling apart because everything started to go fucking high because we started having wars. And now look at us. Now we're struggling to pay taxes, to pay rent, to pay car insurance, to pay our health care, our child care, schooling. I heard across the governor of Pennsylvania even talking about closing all the fucking schools, all the public schools. Now I understand. I always say it's the white man's education. We were taught the white man's education, so black people don't have an education that's been taught to them because we were taught the white man's education. So we never been taught our own education of our own life and how we lived our own life through the 200 years before slavery. We we don't know nothing about our history. So I always believe that we were taught by the white man to learn their history instead of our own history. That's why we learned Christianity and learned the Bible and also learned about the Greeks, the Romans, the many other religious beliefs that we were fucking nowhere interested in until we were put in slave chains. And many other cultures also. So now we are sitting here so lost because we don't even know what the fuck we are. We just are named a color. We're named black, knowing that black means a color that can't absorb light. But this is what we call ourselves. We call ourselves black. We don't call ourselves Negro. We don't call ourselves Cushites. We don't call ourselves Kemites. We don't call ourselves none of these things. We call ourselves black, which we don't even know why we call ourselves black. It was a name that somebody else took and said, I might as well just call myself black because that's what I am. And you don't even know what the meaning of black is, knowing that black didn't even start in America. It started in Africa when, really, honestly, in Spain, when they had all the fucking Spanish used to call themselves Negro, and they were first be called black because they found a lot of black people that were Puerto Rican deep in the West, and they started calling them Negro. But we kept that name and we just held on to that name black. And I still don't know why we held on to that name black. That is really not our culture. We don't even know what our culture is. Y'all don't give a fuck what your nationality is. You don't know your culture. And even if you do know your history, you don't even want to be going that far back, that far past to figure out who was your ancestors and how your ancestors were kings and queens and how they ruled the earth at one point before the white man even existed, for any color of any other nationality even existed. Blacks ruled the planet. But like I said before, this is all we're going to believe that what we are. I always believe that it always started as being powerful to ending as failure. And us black people, we shouldn't be failing. Honestly, we should have owned half of this fucking country because once we got out of slavery, we started buying up every fucking thing. And we started owning a lot of shit, owning a lot of land. And they sold that and they took that away from us. Then they forced us to be a Democrat and Republican. Then they forced us into a religion. Then they forced us to do all these things because they wanted us not to understand who we really were, and who we really are as the most powerful people on this planet that is mostly feared by everybody. We're the most feared people on the planet. No other culture is feared more than blacks. And you got all these racist people still coming after us. And it's been over 200 years since we first was put on this continent and brought from Jamaica to the South. And ever since then, what have we been doing ever since then? Nothing. Black people have been lazy. And they're really actually showing how lazy we are now. Because we were never lazy at first because we were buying up everything in the 1900s. Then what happened after the 1900s? Then we went through, all this other bullshit of, trying to survive as black people, going through all these different types of, racism and hatred towards us, and it's stealing our land from us, and because we wasn't educated, we were illiterate. Because you got to understand, we were not very, very smart people back then. We were very illiterate back then because illiteracy was very, very high during them times, and black people were the highest at illiteracy. So if they would come into your land and want to take your farmland, All they had to do is make you sign a piece of paper and they'll take your farmland away from you. They did that the fuck a lot. They took our land from us, they took our homes from us just because we couldn't read or write. Or we didn't really speak good English. Because we were still speaking broken English at that time, because we were still learning the Bible. Blacks were still learning the Bible at that time. So a lot of blacks were speaking broken English around that time. So they really wasn't speaking really good English. So they didn't know how to read or write. They didn't know how to use a pencil. They didn't know how to use people to write on a piece of paper. They didn't know anything about how to spell their fucking name. No, they didn't have like a last name and a first name at that time. So basically, they will sign a piece of paper. The white man will take the land from them and not even know that they even took the land from them unless they say, well, you got to work. Well, you work for me now. What do you mean I work for you now? Well, you signed that piece of paper and that piece of paper has your name on it that you gave me your land. And now the black man is up there puzzled like, what? Because he couldn't read or write. Even women, black women couldn't read or write. Even black children couldn't even read or write. So we were used like really badly. Even the ones that could read or write still had their land taken away from them also. Because they were threatened. Or their family was hung or lynched or murdered. Or they were kidnapped or whatever. Or they were forced to give up their land. Now look at us. We're celebrating racism. People were like, well, he has a right to speak. Yes, he has a right to speak. But why are we celebrating racism? The man was a racist. Why are we celebrating racist people? We're trying to fight racism. People are like, well, you need to go and watch this video. I'm not watching these videos because I know how I watched these videos before. He is he really didn't like a lot of cultures. He always tried to make cultures look very, very bad. Like the white culture is the most best culture in the world. Like the white culture never did anything fucking wrong. I'm trying to figure out when the white culture never did anything fucking wrong. They have done things wrong throughout their history. Really 200 years on this land of terrorizing other cultures. So how is this land of the white man ever been so great? War, famine, assassination, crime, rape, murder, molesting, priests, molesting kids and all this other kind of stuff. Like why does that not opening up anybody's mind of racism will never ever leave this country because we don't know how to get rid of racism because we celebrate racism. We celebrate the people that are racist because we feel like they have a view. Like everybody says Donald Trump is not a racist, but everybody knows Donald Trump's a racist. Everybody knew that Biden was a racist back then and he got a lot older. Everybody knows there's racism in these characters, but they want to say, oh no, there's no racism in these people. But they actually showed you their racism once they were in politics. Donald Trump was never a politician, but he's a racist. He's a known racist. He's been a racist for a very long time, and people still try to deny that he's not a racist. Oh, he can be able to speak his mind. He's allowed to say whatever he wants. Yes, you're allowed to say anything you want in this country, but you are trying to stop something that's been going on for nearly 200 years, which is racism, but he still turns on racism higher than he ever turned it on. Like, he's blasting racism all over the fucking country. And whoever this guy is named Charlie Clark, whatever, Kirk, that passed away, he was a racist. And everybody knows he was. But people don't care. People want to protect his family. People want to protect his death. The man is gone like every other people that's gone. Like these kids that have been shot up in their school, they're gone, but nobody talks about them. Like the Texas school shooting with all the little kids in the Texas school shooting. All them little kids did not have to die. Let's talk about all the other racism like the clubs and the one that had at the concert at the pyramid down there in Las Vegas. Let's talk about 9/11. Let's talk about the Oklahoma City bombings. Let's talk about them. Why don't they talk about them? Why skip over that to go to let's talk about 9/11. Let's talk about the Muslims. Now you got Donald Trump trying to ban Muslims from the country because that's what he wants to do. Because he doesn't like their religion. Even though the Christian religion is far worse than any religion that ever was created. And even how the religion even started. And people knows this, but people will say, well, let's talk about that. The Christian religion and the Muslim religion are basically the same fucking religion. It's the same religion, only that the book is read backwards. That's all. But the religion is still the same. Why don't people understand that the Christian religion and the Muslim religion is the same fucking religion? But people don't want to understand that because they want to bully another religion. Because when you start talking about somebody else's religion, you start talking about Christianity, people want to get so defended by it. Oh, why are you talking about my religion? Because you're talking about the Muslim religion, even though it's both basically the same fucking religion. It's never going to change. And all the religions is all built in throughout history are all the same religions. It's just that you're trying to use one God as somebody that you're worshiping. And you're trying to use a Messiah as somebody that you're worshiping. Knowing that been going down through the Egyptians, through the Mayans, through the Romans, through the Greeks, through all these different religions and different writings and teachings of religion has been going on for thousands of years. For 2,000 years, you're reading the same motherfucking book. But you know the book has never taught you a goddamn thing. Because it's not a history book. It's a storybook. And it's sad that you're going into these churches shooting up people because they're trying to understand this religion. And a lot of people are really like turning their backs on this religion because they know that what's the point? People are dying over these religions. And racism is not going to go nowhere. People, I live in a black neighborhood, and I know it's racism all over this place because blacks don't get along with blacks. That's it. Regardless of how we always talk about culture and love and and all this other kind of bullshit. This country is full of all these black cities, all these black hoods are racist to themselves. And we're never going to change. We're never going to change as a people because we are celebrating racism. We're celebrating people who died that were racist. Why do we do that? Why are we such a hypocrite country? First, we're trying to stop violence and war. Then we're trying to stop racism in our own country, but we're celebrating these people that are racist. And then people are getting mad just because, oh, why are you talking about the guy? I don't know the guy. I just know that I've seen videos of this guy. And this guy is a racist. It's not like he was going to change his own mind about what he talks about freely because he's allowed to do that. But he was talking about things that really made people like, goddamn, racism is never going to go away. This is how he made his money. He made his money off of racism. And it's what people are doing on the internet right now. They're making money off of racism. They're making money off of going back and forth with motherfuckers because they want to get their view and take about what's going on in this country. But like I said, you know what's going on in this country, but people are pretending like everything is good in this country, and it's not. This country's falling apart. And the people that run this country is the one that's making this country fall apart. And we got the people that are in these chairs and seats that are racist, and they're telling you this shit on national TV. CNN, Fox News, World News, all these different outlets to the internet. All these Democrats after the boy died talking about they're going to go after the Democrats because they believe that they have something to do with his death. Like, what the fuck is going on? This country is so fucked up. And we're such hypocrites, dog. We talk about, oh, we got to save Israel, Palestine, and Ukraine, and Russia. Man, let them deal with their bullshit and let us deal with our bullshit in our own fucking country. Let's fix our fucking country before we worry about somebody else, what they're going through in their country. That's why they want us to stay out of their business. The United States should stay out of motherfucking people's business. We don't. We have to be in everybody's fucking business. Because we have to make money. Because this country's not making any motherfucking money. So we got to make money off of other countries that are struggling or going to war because the United States has never been the war on its soil for a long ass fucking time. So we sitting up here worrying about, oh, well, since we got white people carrying guns now, and we can't, black people having trouble carrying a handgun, because if we carry a handgun, the first thing they're going to do is pull a gun out and try to kill us. But a white man can walk down the street with a semi-automatic like they did during the pandemic and sit there and say, oh, it's not a problem with me carrying a semi-automatic, but, I got to protect myself. Come on, man. We lived in this country for not even a long period of time, Blacks been living in this country for only 200 years. We have not been living in this country long. So we are still trying to figure out who we are in this country and where we belong in this country, which we haven't figured out where we belong in this country because the only thing we do, we got slapped in the hood. That's all we did. Once we got slapped in the hood, we stayed in the hood and didn't move out the hood. And when we did move out the hood, we go to the suburbs for like 5 minutes and then we come right back to the hood again. Knowing they're trying to kick us out the hood, they're trying to kick us out the hood again because the white man is trying to buy up the hood and try to rebuild the hood into a white neighborhood. So this is the reason why black people don't know where the fuck to go. We did that shit when we were released from slavery, when we were roaming around trying to figure out who we are and where we should go. That's why we had to go to Kansas because we had nowhere else to go. That's why blacks were dying from all different types of diseases like yellow fever and smallpox and all these different types of diseases because we were roaming around, getting locked up, getting thrown in jail. We had to be forcing free slave labor. Black people still don't know where the fuck to go. We still lost. Even if we get kicked out of our own neighborhood right now, we would have nowhere to go. We can't go back to Africa. We can't go to Brazil. We can't go to Jamaica. We can't go to any of these countries because they won't allow us there. Remember, once upon a time, they tried to kick us out of Ukraine. They didn't try to kick us out of Ukraine. They tried to not let us leave Ukraine when Ukraine was going to war with Russia. And even when China during the pandemic, they were kicking black people out of their fucking homes because they believed black people carried the virus. Like, look at that. Look at the dangers that black people can't even go and be anywhere except in the United States because this is our prison. The United States is our prison. When we got freed, we wasn't free. We were still property to this country. And to this very day, you probably can look up online right now and find out that black people are still property to this country. That's the reason why black people can't leave this country and go where the fuck anywhere else. Even if you talk Africa, black people will deny Africa with a snap of a finger. If you talk about Egypt or Kush, you talk about Congo, you talk about anywhere, Ghana, anywhere, black people will not go. Because we're trapped here in a prison. This is our prison. Turtle Island is our prison, dog. When we were brought here on them ships, they knew that we wasn't going anywhere. They knew they gave us the Bible. They gave us a fraction of a little bit of freedom. Not too much, because they didn't give us a lot of freedom. They gave us just enough freedom to say, okay, we're comfortable. But black people should have never got comfortable sitting on this island, dog. We should have found an island off the coast of Africa or South America or somewhere and made it our own island, our own Mecca. But we didn't do that. Because we wanted to be part of this country so bad. We wanted to join the white kumbaya. We wanted to hold hands with them. So we had Martin Luther King vouch for us to be free with white people, knowing that we were making a whole bunch of money before we even got involved being around white people. We were making millions and millions of dollars. We were the first Black Wall Street. And next thing you know, we got hooked up with white people. Then everything was taken away from us. Black people was like, oh, well, we got to blame ourselves. Yes, we got to blame ourselves. But why don't we blame ourselves then? Why don't we blame ourselves? Why we blame God? Why we blame Jesus? Why we blame white man? If black people are the only ones that actually put themselves in this position right now, that we could have left this island a long time ago and found our own island off the coast of Africa or coast of Brazil, and we could have been starting our own Mecca, our own prominent civilization. No, we didn't do that. We stood here and just allowed us to become slaves again. We're property. We're never going to be able to leave this island, dog. We are property. And you can even probably go back into the old ass motherfucking archives or after 200 years of us building the Capitol building, which I still don't understand why they talk about January 6th a trillion times. They forgot that black people built that motherfucking Capitol building. And also built a lot of other stuff that's down there in Washington, D.C. that blacks built during slavery. And they don't talk about it. They keep on talking about January 6th, January 6th. Well, let's talk about what black people built that motherfucking building. Let's talk about what blacks built the White House. Let's talk about what a black man designed the White House. And you don't even hear nothing about that motherfucker. Or the Washington Monument. Or many other things that's down there in Pennsylvania Avenue that they don't even fucking talk about that black people built during slavery. They don't want to talk about that shit. They just want to ignore it. Like it didn't happen. You know, they want to talk about the fighter pilots that fought during World War II, or the blacks that actually stood up front and shot the first guns during the Revolutionary War, and how we stood up to try to protect this country from, from tyranny. No, but they don't talk about us. We're just swept under the rug while they talk about, white people going in there fighting the battles of D-Day and all the other kind of bullshit. It's a damn shame that we are looked as failures, dog. And now racism is being celebrated. Like, it's crazy. Racism is being celebrated. People don't want you to talk about this guy that been assassinated. Like, rest in peace to the guy. Like I said, I don't know him. I don't want to get nobody hurt. I don't want to see no violence on nobody. But it's a damn shame that this is becoming like 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 top news. Like we have to have these, be celebrated. Like, you haven't heard not one black person get shot, but only hearing getting shot in their own neighborhood. But you're seeing Donald Trump sending motherfucking troops into black neighborhoods and locking black people up, or still got ICE out there searching for immigrants. You know what I mean? And it's like a white politician gets shot. It's like, oh my God, Lord mighty Jesus, oh my goodness, a white man died. But why are they not doing that for black people or any other culture that's dying out there? Like, they're really treating immigrants like shit, regardless if they're here supposed to be here or not. Like I said, immigrants been in this country for a very fucking long time. It's just like they did pop up, and when fucking Trump got elected, and regardless if they're here, they're doing the same thing as regular people are doing, is trying to make money for their family and try to do a lot of great things here to try to. This country only has 300 and something million people in this country. We don't have that many people in this country, so it's like we have billions of people in this country, like Japan and China and many other parts of the world that got billions of people. We only got 300 and something million people here. So how is this country overpopulated? Just because you got 5 million fucking immigrants, goddamn, like, give them jobs so they can make money to help this fucking economy that's fucked up. Nobody's fucking working. Nobody's doing anything to make any money to help this country survive. All we're doing is just sitting there waiting for funding and food stamps. And we should, like I said, back in the 1900s to the 1940s, through World War One and Two, Vietnam, this country was making fucking money. Now what happened? The country lost money. The country is begging other countries to come in here to build businesses in this country, knowing the United States should be building their own shit. But we can't build our own shit because we don't know how to build our own shit. Because the younger generation don't know how to build shit except be on a computer all fucking day and play video games. They don't know how to build a country like they did back then when the baby boomers were actually building this country from the ground up. Brick by brick, wire by wire, railroad by railroad. They were building this country. Now you got these lazy ass motherfuckers, and we are raising these lazy ass motherfuckers. We tell them that these kids got a lot of things going on for these. A lot of these kids are just lazy, and they're making it look bad on us because we're the ones trying to push them to go out there and work. But we can't get them to work because they don't want to work. And Donald Trump is trying to brain the young generation. No, Donald Trump loves the young generation. He loves the young generation that's lazy. He likes that they're lazy because he has control over the younger generation to try to force the younger generation to go to war, dog. Now, my generation, like I said, we're dying. My Generation X is dying. The baby boomers are dying too. But my generation is dying. So we have no voice anymore because our generation is over. We got to let this generation have their generation. But it's kind of sad because we're looking at this generation thinking that this generation is going to succeed because our generation should be really running this country. But we can't run this country because we still got these old motherfuckers in office that won't leave office to let my generation try to run the country. But now you got the younger generation. They thinking they're going to be the next presidents and vice presidents, but they don't even know what the fuck they're going to be doing once they become in office because they're going to be fighting and arguing and going back and forth with each other through politics and don't know nothing about fucking politics. I'm off this thing. I can't stand the way we celebrate things, dog. I can't stand the way we celebrate things as a country. We should not be celebrating violence. We shouldn't be celebrating racism. We shouldn't be celebrating hatred. We shouldn't be celebrating none of this stuff. We should be fixing this fucking country, dog. This country should be actually starting to get better, but we're not, dog. We are still the same country from last year and the year before that. Even when Biden was in office, I always say the country always has been the same. We just never had a war on our soil. Other parts of the world had war, but we never had war on our own soil. This is the reason why I believe that when I say Biden never had a war, Obama never had a war, they didn't have war because they didn't have it on their own soil. You got Russia, Palestine, all of them having war on their soil. We not having a war over here. We're having war probably through doing the dumbest shit of, doing terrorism in our own country. But we're not having war in our own soil. We're not having a civil war. We're not having a revolutionary war. We're not having World War III on our own soil. So basically, we actually are doing a better job than other countries that are actually fighting for land. Russia is fighting for the land that was theirs a long time ago. Israel and Palestine, that's a religious war that's been going on for thousands of years. So basically, while we're worried about what they're doing, and we're not worried about what's going on in our own land. We had fires everywhere. We had an earthquake not that long ago. We had a fucking tornado. We got hurricane season coming up pretty soon. We have we have floods. We had all these different violent acts of Mother Nature going on in this country. All we care about is fighting amongst each other through politics. Kids are disappearing. The kids in fucking wherever that flood was in Texas, it was like a whole bunch of children that fucking disappeared. And they haven't been searched for. Kids are just disappearing. Adults are just disappearing. Like being kidnapped. Children are dying in school. You can't even take your kid to school anymore because now you got to worry about them being shot. It's a damn shame how this country is becoming other countries across the world, which we always say, oh, we're not them other countries. We'll never be any of them countries. Yes, we are becoming a war-torn country because we are fighting amongst each other. And we're blaming other people so we won't look bad. Like I said, we blame God and Jesus for every fucking thing. We can't blame ourselves for what's going on and the violence and the tyranny that's going in and even the shit that's going on with our own presidents and our governors, what's going on in our own country. Because all we fucked up, we're just so fucked up. I know they're probably gonna bleep out every cuss word I say. I just don't care because I'm sick and tired of this country the way as it used to be. Like you just love living in the 90s because at least the 90s you woke up every day enjoying the weekend. Can't wait for the weekend to come. Can't wait to go to the clubs. Can't wait to go to the bars. Can't meet some biddies. Go out and just enjoy yourself. Now we can't even fucking do that. We can't even go to a club. We can't even go to a bar because we thinking that somebody's going to pull out a semi-automatic and start shooting every fucking body. Kids can't even go to school and go on school trips or even enjoy their class or even enjoy their time being in school to learn without them thinking they got to lock down the school because somebody's walking around with a semi-automatic. It's crazy and it's fucked up. And America should be ashamed of itself, man. We're not supposed to be like any of these other countries. We're supposed to be the most powerful country in the fucking world, which we lost that shit to China. Little by little, dog, it's gonna be tragic. Like like I said before, like they take away our leaders, they kill our leaders, and they make us be alone, and now we gotta reach for the Bible and hoping God will save us, knowing that that's not going to fucking happen. Because humans don't know how to take care of humans. We don't know how to take care of each other. We don't know how to talk to each other. We don't know how to forgive each other. We don't know how to try to at least try to understand each other. We just hate each other. And I'm going to end on that note, man. You can say whatever you want about me. You can hate me. You can say all the mean things you want. I don't care. Just gotta you gotta understand this. If you want to live on this, you want to live in a world full of hatred, violence, and all that. Go ahead, you live through that shit, yo. It's a damn shame. It's the year 2025, dog. 2025. In a few years, it'll be 2030 or 2050, and we're still a fucked up country that has no type of even a little bit to open up our mind and say, you know what, we need to end this shit while we got an opportunity to try to change this country into a better country. While we have an opportunity before these motherfucking other countries, like, okay, they're weak enough. Let's go over there and attack them. Because that's what they're doing. They're trying to weaken this country, dog. These treaties don't mean shit. They can rip up these treaties and redo treaties all over again if they really fucking want to. We got to really be careful of how we are living in this country, because slowly but surely things are going to happen and things are going to turn for the worse.